Okay, hi. It's March 17th here in Thailand, St. Patrick's Day. No, I'm not wearing green because I'm not a religious fanatic. I don't adhere to St. Patrick. I'm a Celtic Druid type, so orange in protest. What are we doing here? Oh, the Schumer shit show. Well, Schumer had a shit sandwich and he had a shit sandwich with E. coli to choose from. So he went with the shit sandwich, which will pass through the system easily, hopefully, whereas the shit sandwich with E. coli, the shutdown, would damage the system irreparably. Under a 30-day rule, RIF, reduction in force, anything Trump did would have been perfectly legal. This way, everything goes to court, blah, blah, blah. And it's only 6 months from now. Who knows what's going to happen? He made the right choice. He made the only choice. I don't really know why Dems are piling in on him. Some kind of strategy? I have no idea. But I agree with him. And I've just stopped listening to anybody on YouTube. Stop getting your news from that. Just stop. I read what Schumer wrote in the New York Times opinion, and that's what convinced me. He convinced me with his argument. And obviously, people don't even know what RIF is, so they didn't read it. So please go and read it. Okay. What else am I going to talk about? Oh, Bondi. Yeah. So we're there. They're disappearing people, and it's legal. So again, we've got the courts are our only stopgap, and well, what if they just ignore the courts? What will the marshals do? Well, there's ways the courts can appoint anybody they want. It doesn't have to be a marshal. The court can go and appoint some hitman out of Somalia. They can do anything they want. Okay, they've got the power. The Supreme Court absolutely does. Trump is trying to overtake the country with his executive uh, branch, which is a co-equal partner, one third legislative and legislature, and also the court. So the judicial, excuse me. He's and hopefully the court's going to stand up, and I think they will. I think that Roberts knows, and he's got. I think some other judges will go. I think they will rein him in. I'm hopeful. The damage is going to be horrible to a lot of people already. People are suffering. People just not getting disappeared, but people are getting fired. People are not getting contracts. I'm not spending any money. I don't know. I live on Social Security. Will they decide I'm not eligible anymore? Who knows? Some kid is in Social Security right now combing through. They're probably going to use Democratic voter records to start if they want to start calling that. I don't think they'll start there. I think that would be a mistake. They're starting what they're doing exactly what they need to do, which is to start out slow and steady. The veterans erasing Black history, erasing that Black uh, U- Air Force uh, Lieutenant Colonel's medal, and somebody sticking a little snarky DEI medal. That's just out and out racist behavior, and they need to be called out. Whoever did that fired and prosecuted. That's just bullshit. Don't put up with that crap. So I'm at the point where we've just been set back. We're set back decades. We should have dealt with global warming back in the 1930s because that's when it started to come out to the forefront. But we had some guy named Ford, an industrialist, getting very rich, who suppressed all kinds of information about this. So, and they're still doing that. Long live the car, essentially. Long live fossil fuel. It's like King Cotton, and they're not going to let go. And they may drag everybody else down with them. It's not the planet I'm worried about. The planet's going to survive, but I think the mammals will not, because we can only go up to a certain temperature. We can only have so much flooded farmland. We can only have so much drought, and then we have mass die-offs already. It's happening. Will Earth turn into Venus? Well, sure, one day, probably, right before, it gets swallowed by the sun. Who knows what's going to happen in billions of years from now? The Earth will survive. There will probably be a rise of another species. I predict the praying mantis because they seem to be pretty intelligent. But anyway, getting ahead of myself. So, right now, the protests are great. It's great to show support. It's great to show anything that agitates. And what no one's pointing out is this wasn't going on when Biden was president. There were some tiny, tiny little corner protests that were embarrassing about how few attendees they got. Well, thousands and thousands, tens of thousands. Soon it'll be hundreds of thousands are going to be showing up. And will Trump be allowed to smoke bomb them and then start rubber bulleting them and then start shooting them? Will he be allowed? Well, he's going to do it. So the thing to do is to stop him now before he gets the chance, because he will. Okay, so, and again, my whole premise is that the entire world, the entire universe has seen this 2024 election as legitimate. It's just insane. There's so much information out there now about these swing states that obviously key precincts were hacked, and it was so easy to do, and people are showing how easy it to do. And you had MAGA poll workers with some USB sticks, or I don't know the technique they use, but it's easy to get in these machines. No one's done any match the ballot to the computer. That was the thing about paper ballots. We were supposed to be counting them, but we're counting computer tallies of paper ballots. We're not counting paper ballots, so they're no good. Paper ballots, unless you're counting them as audits, are useless. And the counties, there was some, I can't go into specifics. Just go to electiontruthalliance.org and you can see all the studies they've done, and they've done a lot of really good work. electiontruthalliance.org. If you think I'm crazy and I'm just, just go and see Free Speech for People, Securing Insecure Elections. I'll put the link down in the description. Just do it. Okay, so it's 7.5 minutes. I don't want to make long videos, but what else am I going to do? So our only power is we don't have the vote anymore, as far as I'm concerned. We don't have the vote. It's been manipulated. So all we have is our consumer dollar. That is all we have. So protests are great, but the real thing to do is to stop buying. Stop buying. Do not buy. Only necessities. Do not buy cars. Do not buy anything you don't need to have today to survive. And keep doing that. Don't stop. And if you can get other people to do this, great. And only shop where they have fair practices if you can. Costco is one example. Just look into it, or shop local. I know there's a lot of poor neighborhoods where you have no choices at all. You have to go out of town, or drive a mile to get to the local Walmart or whatever. And that's the way they've set it up. And that needs to be changed, but that's a future we have to do later because we have to secure things now. Okay, so that's it, really. Election Truth Alliance, go there. Our elections are not secure. Trump cheated in every way there was. Musk lies on X seen billions and billions of times. Oh, yeah, Germany has asked to see the algorithms for X concerning the election, even before the election. And Musk is doing the Trump routine of delay, which works, which works. But I don't think Germany's going to give up on that. So, and where's that Jack Smith report, Part B? And where's the Epstein flight lists? Come on. All right. Thanks for listening. Bye.